Hey everybody, what's going on? Mic check, mic check. Gotta make sure that this mic is ready for yelling, just in case I have to yell. As you know, I love to do. All right, we're building an audience. Let me get my notebook out. Lots to talk about. As always, hey Kathy. So the good news first. Let's go over the good news because there's so much bad news. Tennessee governor is going to seek to get free community college. That's shocking. That's Tennessee. Birmingham is trying to push to make itself a sanctuary city. That's the second good news. Harley Davidson cancels on Trump event. That's the third good news. Okay, that's it for big good news. Okay, let's move on. So there was 50 to 100 arrests. You saw the earlier broadcast by Tatsu and Moon Mandel on the same day, right? The Tillerson gets confirmed. 50 to 100 people are arrested, and I'm not even sure. Hi, Oregon. I'm not even sure if that was caught on the news at all. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of the news. I'm always flipping all over the place, so I don't think the mainstream is covering the North Dakota pipeline anymore. So that's why it's really important that we do it. You should follow us at Real Progressives. You can also follow Indigenous Movement. They had a really cool multiple 5-person broadcast last night, so look for that page. The other day I was going to start with something that I wasn't sure about. This guy Steve King from Iowa, there was something going around saying that he was for dog fighting, and I called, and it turned out he had said it 4 years ago. But then I read today that this guy is creating a bill against right to work, which would stop people from having to give dues to unions, which would basically be a union killer. So I'm going to have to call this fucker again tomorrow. And that's the thing. It's like it's overwhelming about what you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, because you're constantly like trying to figure out, okay, what action do I take? Who do I donate to? You run into people, you have to inform them. I got into an argument. Some guy came onto my page, gets into the whole thing about Jill Stein. You know, we're arguing back and forth. He has no clue that, you know, if Jill Stein had received 5%, that she would have gotten federal funding. So, you know, it's just nonstop with trying to tell people what's what. You know, post your stuff on your wall, and now people can just randomly get on there and say stuff. You know, I just said, I know I posted something about why are people so upset about, you know, because here's the running problem. You know, this is a Christian nationalist movement, and I said something on my wall. It's like amazing how people, you know, get upset about people coming from the Middle East when they worship somebody from the Middle East, meaning Jesus. And then someone made a comment. It's like, oh, well, the Jews and the Christians get along fine, but, you know, it's the Muslims that are the problem, you know, which is not true. Jews and Muslims get along. Jewish people just opened up their synagogue in Texas to let Muslims whose mosque was burnt down in Victoria, Texas. So that's a generalization. They do get along. So, but this is like constant propaganda, and that's why all this stuff is. That is why what we're doing at Real Progressives and other people are trying to do is so important. There is just nothing out there, and the propaganda is strong because other people are creating propaganda. You know that guy Anomaly. He just posted some kid on there who did a whole video about white guilt. This black kid did a whole thing about white guilt, and he's tired about white guilt. And you know who liked the fact that this black kid said that the white people don't have to feel guilty? A lot of white people felt very happy. It was the worst video I've ever seen. I mean, he edited it and everything, but it made no sense. But again, it's just propaganda. Everybody is able to put out propaganda, so it's really important to you know, get your facts straight. So, and that leads me to the next point. I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's a Twitter account called Rogue POTUS Staff who keeps leaking out things via Twitter. And, you know, I wasn't sure if I should talk about this stuff because you don't know how legit it is. But a couple days ago, Rogue POTUS Staff said, be careful. Next move he's going to make is he's going to weaken the LGBTQ community's rights. And tonight, 2 days later, boom. They just had a report. Pretty sure there's going to be executive action with Trump weakening again the protection of the LGBTQ community. So, we got to keep an eye on Rogue POTUS staff. They're actually saying they don't even know how long they're going to be able to keep leaking this stuff because they think they're being caught on. But it's almost too much. I mean, with the North Dakota pipeline, if you haven't called Heidi Heitkamp yet, you got to do that tomorrow. She also voted for Tillerson, so you have a reason to call her tomorrow. It was Heitkamp. Sorry, I'm on the streets of New York City here. Sorry for the horns. Heidi Heitkamp, Warner, Manchin, and Angus King all voted for Tillerson today. So if you can make those phone calls tomorrow, and these phone calls are important. And there's so much going on, it's hard to focus. There's so many. Trump is being sued by everybody. I mean, there's multiple now lawsuits due to this immigration ban. That's constant. Reports every day that somebody's suing him. I just hope that that's true. But the thing I said tonight, which I really believe, and I think it's important that people know, since I'm such a big burner, I said that every Senate Democrat needs to be primaried, even Bernie. Every single Senate Democrat needs to be primaried because we need to hold them accountable and we need answers. We need answers and accountability for all the votes they made, all the actions they've taken. Every single one of them needs to be primaried, and we need answers from them. So that's got to be a goal. No matter what, no matter whether you believe in that, whether you believe in Democrats or not, I want them held to the fire. And the only way to hold them to the fire is to have someone strongly run against them in a primary who's a progressive, who can force them to a debate and say, we need these questions answered, right? And I'll take it all the way so that you guys like it, because I know you guys like the election fraud thing. So you run somebody against Bernie so someone can say, hey, we want to know about election fraud. We want to know why you supported the DNC after they screwed you over. And I'm the biggest Bernie fan in the world, but that's a fair question. I get it. So someone said that the reason why, Sean King wrote an article tonight about that Democrats are gutless. And I don't believe that. I believe Democrats are corrupt to the core. I think everything they do, just like everybody else, has a purpose. It's all purposeful. It's all gamesmanship. It's all done for their reward. It has nothing to do with guts. It has to do with, how is this going to affect me? Am I going to get votes? Am I going to lose votes? Am I going to lose money? It's all about corruption. It has nothing to being gutless or not. It's being corrupt. It's having so much money. It was Mike Santiano. Mike, I don't know how to say his name. Tonight Mike was on from The Observer. I don't know how to say his last name. Cianto. I apologize. I need to get his name right. Why? I'm not a good reporter. He said that Pelosi's worth $100 million. So these people are just all. And someone said this, and I didn't want to say it on my wall, but someone posted, they're all dollar Nazis, right? They're all about money. It's all about corruption. At the end of the day, it's all money for them. It's all them staying in power. They're all corrupt. It has nothing to do with being gutless. I wish it did. I wish it was that easy. I wish we could just say, oh, they're just scared. Oh, they're scared for their lives. No, they're scared for their profit. They're scared for their voters. They're scared to get voted out of office. My arm is killing me. What are you guys saying? Yeah, Kathy, a lot of people are talking about unsubscribing from TYT tonight. I don't know what's going on over at TYT. Like I said, I never get over to watch too many other networks. I'm in and out on CNN. I watch our station now. I watched both broadcasts tonight. Moon Mandel was reporting. He's down on the front lines in North Dakota, where those 50 to 100 people got arrested. Not even sure, they're going to definitely be in there for 24 hours, but I don't think you're going to see that anywhere else. I think right now the press is going to cover Berkeley protests against Milos, but you're not going to see anything about the continuing protests and arrests at North Dakota Pipeline. Now, I might be wrong because I can't watch every damn news source, but I assume that's what happened tonight. I'm trying to think what else I want to talk about tonight. Oh, so anyway, so the other thing I wanted to tell you, so I did call Steve King today, and it was a fucking waste of time for me because the guy was so nice on the phone, and this thing Steve King had said about 4 years ago about dogfighting, he was like pro dogfighting, but it was like taken out of context. Guy It was 4 years ago. He's retracted it. And I get off the phone, and then I was like, oh, that seemed worthless. And then turns out I should have been talking about right to work, because that's what he's gunning for, is right to work. He's gunning for unions, which is what's next, people. They're going after unions next. They're gonna rip us apart piece by piece. I would tell you that I did make a donation today. It wasn't to Ken Mejia. I'm pretty sure it's because my wife saw me doing this, and she wanted me to make a donation to the state senator that we are sort of fond of, because he stands up for banning puppy mills here in New Jersey. So my wife was like, first I want to give money to him before you start giving money to other people. So I did make a donation today of $27 to a state legislator here in New Jersey. So those are all actions that you can be taking. I'm sorry, I'm trying to stay in landscape, but it's hard to see your guys' comments at the same time. Let me just flip down and see what you guys are talking about. Oh, there's a lot of comments I missed. It's so hard in landscape to see comments. Yeah, I haven't seen any DAPL coverage in a while. Oh, TYT is pushing the Justice Democrats, I guess Kathy's saying. I think also Lisa's talking about TYT when they booked Hillary, or that could be the Democrats. Yeah, Jordan was out in the field tonight. So Jordan from TIT was good. He was in his car doing a broadcast about North Dakota Pipeline too. So, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to completely, ignore that they do good work. Freddie doesn't like Sean King. Anyway, I don't know if you guys were here last night. As I'm scrolling down, when I got into that with that troll last night, I got pissed off by some troll who came on here who was using the alt-right language, which drives me crazy, because Matthew McConaughey just came on and he just made a quote that we all have to get along with Trump, and we all have to work with him. I'm like, not all right, not alt-right, not all right, Matthew McConaughey. And I'm not going to put up with any of that crap. Like I said, that person came on last night. If you guys didn't see, I had a troll come on here, talking coded language. I vetted him after the show. Everything I said about that guy last night, if you didn't see it, everything I yelled about, I was right. He's a misogynist. He's definitely alt-right. He has alt-right other memes on his walls. And then I went and looked at his family, and his mom, hate to tell you this, racist and Islamophobe. So if you ever wonder sometimes where trolls get it, you got to vet them. So that's why that guy was the way he was last night. He is raised in Texas by a racist, and I can't believe the stuff. She's a nurse, and she has stuff that's completely anti-Muslim on her wall, like saying that it's okay to insult Muslims. Basically, was one of her. And I always screenshot to make sure that I cover my ass, so that I have the evidence. But I will vet and I will call out any troll, and I actually enjoy trolls. So. So sorry about last night, but I'm not going to take that shit from anybody. Like, I'm just not going to. Sorry. All right, let's see what else you guys are talking about. Oh, man. I'm so bad at reading your comments now. Yes, she was a bad parent. So it was just Peyton was just had bad parents. That's all. Oh, Peyton's back. Yeah, so Peyton is Peyton has little man complex. He's a balding little guy from Texas. And whoever Kimberly Wright is a racist, and just a sad little man. Sad little coward, raised to be a racist and raised to be alt-right. But he's back tonight, which is always good. So the other thing about that I want to talk about with the propaganda. If you guys haven't watched 13th, which is on Netflix, which is basically all about the industrial prison complex, just a great watch if you haven't done that. And that's what I did right after I watched this guy talk about the problem of white guilt and how we shouldn't have white guilt. And then if you watch 13th and you go through it historically, and you see how, through the years legislation was actually written and sponsored by ALEC, which is the corporations that come in and write laws, and then they bring it to congressmen to put into play to put people in jail, mostly black people. So if you haven't seen 13th, on Netflix. I highly recommend it. Sit there and watch it like you watch Steve's broadcast with a pen and paper and write stuff down. It'll blow your mind. And like I said, this is both sides. This is both Republicans and Democrats. Both did this. You know, you go back to Super Predators with Hillary Clinton. You know, and you know what was amazing about the Super Predator thing, which when that came out, they really should have took her to task on that because multiple people were running that narrative. The phrase super predator was used as propaganda over and over again by numerous people so they could sell that. And it just goes over as how the prison population was grown on purposely. But the coolest thing about the thing is that nothing's going to change because there's always going to be permutations. They're always going to figure out, even when we get onto them and we figure out, okay, they're just putting people in prison for profit, they're going to figure out another way. They're going to permeate what they do in another way to keep making money. So that's why it's like it's nonstop. The corruption and their minds are so evil, and they are smart, that you have to stay on top of them at all times. Kathy says, I see no difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Well, we have progressives who are just being blocked. So there is a difference. I mean, we had a shot with Bernie. There is a difference between the Republicans. Republicans have got their alt-right establishment in, and we tried to get in our progressive populists. They got their lying populist in. So there is a difference. Obviously, there's a difference. I mean, they're going to go after the LGBTQ community. They're going to strip right to workers' rights. There is a difference. I mean, we do have a left, and it is different. Well, yeah, that's right, Sue, and that was the thing, right? That threw off. I didn't see it, but when Linda Pelosi had her town hall, yikes, who wants to watch that? Some young kid got up there and said, "Don't you know that most millennials now believe that capitalism is not the answer?" And she completely defended capitalism to the end and was like, "What? I don't know what you're talking about." And he's like, "No, the polls say that most millennials don't believe in capitalism anymore." I'm so happy, though, because there is no way that Dem or Republicans have a chance next election. I don't know what that means, Sarah. Who do you think is going to win in the next election, Dem or Republicans? I don't know what that means. There's no way Republicans and Democrats have a chance in the next election. I'm not sure what that means. Got to give me more on that. Lance Jeffer says, what about all the trash left behind North Dakota? Maybe EPA should do assessment quality. Too bad that... So Lance is just like, what the fuck? What an asshole. Like, Lance is worried about the garbage. He's not worried about the pollution and ruining the water supply and rights. And this is like, it's got to be somebody who just doesn't give a shit about other people. He's just concerned about himself. He doesn't care about other people. He doesn't care about treaties. He doesn't care about Native Americans who's been slaughtered and all their, put onto reservations, all their rights stripped. Lance is just a fucking total douche. He's just a total douche. And that's what we're up against. Guys like Lance. That's why they come here. And it's perfect because I want you to know that these people exist. So when you think there isn't a difference between a progressive and the alt-right, it's just a complete, these guys are just soulless, raised by fucking monsters, man. And they're just the biggest cowards on the planet. It's beyond cowardly. It's just, Luann says. Yeah, I suppose so, Luann. Which we're finding out tonight. I don't know where Lance is from. I'm sure he's friends with Payton. Tiny Payton. Tiny Baldwin Payton. Overcompensating Payton. Lance says, who is this guy? Who the fuck are you, Lance? How's that? How's that, Lance? Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of live streaming, actually, Nora. Post that to my wall if you've seen it. I haven't seen a lot of... If you've seen live streaming, please post it on my wall. I would appreciate that. Just watching Jordan today. Let's see. Let me scroll down. Anthony Steven Alvarez. I think all the alt-right is here tonight. The pipeline was already completed except for 1 mile. Yeah, well, the problem is, Lance, now we're woke as fuck. So we're sort of on board with all these pipelines. There's a pipeline going on through Pennsylvania that we're trying to stop. There's a pipeline going on through New Jersey trying to stop. That whole argument about there's tons of pipelines all over the U.S. Yes, we understand that. Now we fucking know there's ways to stop them. You can divest, you can take money, you can boycott. People are woke as fuck, Lance. It's a different world. It's not a world you want to live in, Lance, because we're going to get in your face. We're going to give you facts. We're going to tell you when you're wrong. We're going to tell you to shut the fuck up. It's a new world, Lance. Welcome. Welcome, buddy. Welcome to reality, man. I hope the Dems can get their shit together by 2018. Right now they keep propping up. Well, I don't think, Freddie, they're going to get their shit together. We're going to have to force them. We're going to have to scare them. We're literally going to have to scare them. As much as you have to scare a Republican and the alt-right and get in their face, and you're going to have to scare the Democrats. It's the same thing. In that regard, they're the same thing because they've all been corrupted. So we're going to have to show them numbers. And that's the same thing. That was a problem with Bernie. We didn't have enough numbers. That I knew. It had to be massive. It had to be massive in order to stop them from rigging the election. And since it wasn't massive, that was the downfall. Yeah, there's a protest in Berkeley over Milos. They trashed a building and I never got to see the protest outside of Schumer's office. Any kind of I didn't get to see any kind of live stream or anything like that. Dems will continue to lose, so lost. Well, not here in New Jersey, Ellen. We have a governor's race in 2017, and they're going to win that. That's going to be hands down. That's going to be easy against Chris Christie. So that's not true. Again, you got to keep to the facts. You can't just say blanket statements. You got to sort of keep it factual if you can. Definitely. They're both sides have issues. Don't get me wrong, people. They both have issues. They both have done. Like I said, if you go see 13th. And you see who created the prison complex, you'll see it's both sides working together. They always, George Carlin says, if it's bipartisan, fucking, something horrible is about to happen if it's bipartisan. I don't know what that is. Daniel Beckstedt, that's progressive, intolerance and hatred. I have no fucking idea what that means. This is like a silly statement. Intolerance, I'll tell you, let me step back. Intolerance, Daniels, is not allowing people to get married because they're gay. Intolerance is when you don't allow someone to purchase something because they are gay. Intolerance is not allowing people to have rights. Just, they're humans. They deserve their rights. So that's what intolerance is. You're confusing yourself. Well, Berkeley is shit gets out of control. People sit there and go, oh, violence and this is not the answer. We've been bombing, we've been killing Native Americans, we've been enslaving black people, we've been putting people in prison, we've been bombing other countries. Someone protests some alt-right guy and you all get upset. What the fuck? Shit's gonna go down, man. That's the way of the world. People get upset, shit goes down. If that's your real concern, then you're really off the message. You're really off the narrative. If you're worried about that and not about Muslim people being banned or us bombing other countries, you're worried about a protest in Berkeley, that's upsetting you, you're part of the problem. Trust me, you're part of the problem. Yeah, really, Daniel. This is called dissent. This is called resist. This is called fight back. We're not going to take your hate speech. We're not going to let you do it. Go do it somewhere else. We don't want it here. You can book it. We can protest it. Who cares? Seriously, who cares about the fucking vandalism? Do you care about the countries that we bombed? Do you care about the people we've been put in prison? Why don't you go protest that? Are you really, that's what you're focused on. That's what you're really worried about. That's your narrative. It's such a bullshit Fox News narrative. It's so fucking ridiculous. And no one's falling for it, man. It's just dumb people like you fall for that shit. That's what they know, right? You're going to focus on that. You're not going to focus on human rights. You're not going to focus on animal welfare. You're not going to focus on gay rights. You're not going to focus on Black Lives Matter, right? You're going to push against all that stuff. But all these guys, Tony Loren, Milos, all of it, coded language against human rights. But you're worried about a building that got burnt down. Fuck you. Anti-vandalism now. Exactly. Stop it. Yeah, and we're the snowflakes, though. I'm the snowflake. Anti-vandalism. Oh, they burned something. Oh no. But I'm the snowflake. Fuck you. Fuck you. Who's the snowflake? Go to your snowflake anti-vandalism meeting. Oh, you're so tough, except when a building's getting hurt. Fucking idiot. Holy fuck. Can you even believe what we put up with? It's insanity. Look to Europe and say you're okay with having potential problems as they do with immigration issues. Look to Europe. I'm not in Europe, buddy. I'm in America. We have had no problems with the countries that were banned. Though we did have some Trump supporter just shoot 6 people in a mosque. Are you worried about that, Lance? Let me hear you talk about that. Let's talk about that, Lance. Or are you just focused on just one issue? Yeah, I thought so, you fucking hypocrite coward. But thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up, alt-right. Love it. You little snowflakes. Worried about buildings and fires and vandalism. We're snowflakes. Come on, man. Come on. All lives matter, which means I'm a racist. Code word for I'm racist. So anyway, what time is it? Oh, I just love that the alt-right here. It just makes my day. So I just want you guys to know that those groups are out there. These guys are out there. And they get it together, and they go on 4chan, and they have little conversations. They go to Breitbart, and they all talk to each other. Breitbart, they have a little comment section down there, and they're on Reddit, and that's how all the eggs are. Yeah, that's all I have, bro. All I have. That we're not snowflakes, and you got to stop worrying about vandalism. Start worrying about real issues. That's what I got. Yeah, and after I get off here, make sure your profile's not fake, and I'll vet the shit out of you, and we'll come talk about you like we talked about Peyton and how he has little man complex, and he's balding, and his mom's a racist, and she's an anti-Islam. We'll figure you out tomorrow. I'll come back, and we'll all figure you out tomorrow. All right, Daniel? Well, I won't do it right now. I've never been to 4chan. No, you just talk to your mom or something. You talk to your racist friends in Texas. Oh, God. Oh, my God. So anyway, what's the time check, people? Time we got out there. Just so you know, just remember that these people are out there. The alt-right is out there. The racists are out there. So we are on the right side. They're on the wrong side. Yeah, Daniel, I will. Every day I'm going to bring it. I'm going to be here every night, Daniel. Show up every night. So I can go and vet your page, and then we can talk about you tomorrow, like we talked about Peyton today. It's going to